Yo, that's wild, man. They willing to give their life up for you, B. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, they dope.
Yo, they
dope.
fuck with you. That's
They're
why you
dope.
on my crew, man. That's why you on my crew, man.
Hey, Luffy, I gotta talk to you, man.
Hey, what's up?
I gotta talk to you.
About what? You trying to get out of? I mean, I'm trying to get out of here too. What do you think?
I can't leave him, bruh.
Say what?
I can't leave him.
You stupid.
Wait, what? You do realize what they're doing, right?
Listen, man. Those my niggas. All right? I know they said they're about to do it for me, but, bro, I gotta do it for them.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're saying that they're trying to save you, but you want to go save them. Okay, somebody, you want me to go come save you? Is that what you
It
want
ain't
next?
about you.
You part of the fucking crew now. I'm your captain. You know that, right? I'm your fucking captain, but you want to go back?
But I can't leave my niggas.
Dog, they just said,
Bro,
they got
if I
us.
leave them,
they good.
then I'ma leave you eventually.
All right, fuck it, man. All right, you know
That's
what?
what's gonna happen.
Go. Fucking go. It's cool. It's cool. You don't want to join the fucking crew anyway. All right? I've been trying to get you to join this goddamn crew 300 fucking chapters ago.
What kind of shit is that? Of course I want to join the crew. Of course I want to join the crew. Listen, my nigga, I almost died a bunch of times for your ass. I gave you blood, motherfucker. What do you mean?
All
Do
right.
I want?
Listen, we'll be in Wano.
All right, I come to Wano then.
Yo, what's poppin'? Back like we never left, BDA, and today, guys, we're talking One Piece Chapter 901. Now, today I don't want to just recap the chapter. I'm gonna go over some things that's happened, but I want to expound upon things that's happened in the chapter, give some analysis as far as like my personal thoughts about it, and my overall view on Whole Cake Island after this chapter. Not a full review of Whole Cake, but it's my overall view, right? So hopefully you guys enjoyed the intro to this. Expect more videos like that and more shit like that. More intros to different chapters. If the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to do a lot more of that, but a review is going to be late, but hey, I think it's pretty much worth the wait, right? So I don't want to skip over this, but the cover page, it has a giant, and she's the doctor of the crew, and her name is Girth. We've seen Girth before, right? We saw her running away from Linlin back in the day with Big Mom's flashback, and she still maintains the same pigtails and shit like that. It's a Nami and Smoothie merge, so we were calling her Nuthi. So we had Nuthi on the fucking cover page, and at this point, we know Oda has his fucking template for the women, and we just gotta let it rock. So this chapter had a few things, well, yeah, a few important things happen, right? One, it revealed that Big Mom, she ate the cake, and she is fine. She's still in bliss. We did not get the full scope of her flashback, because remember last chapter we got everything with Big Mom pretty much laying down or hallucinating the pet cemetery and all that weird stuff. I thought we were gonna get some more exposition on that. No, we didn't get shit. All we got was Big Mom pretty much in bliss, and we got some more Big Mom. I'll touch on that later, but as far as the Big Mom thing and her, us not getting more of the pet cemetery, I'm a bit disappointed, okay, because that was really interesting from last chapter. That kind of went away from the typical happy One Piece story, right? One Piece goes there sometimes with the auction, the slave trade, stuff like that, the fishmen and racism. It goes there sometimes. So I thought it was going to go there again. When we found out that Big Mom was the one to actually eat her family, eat those kids, and Mother Caramel, that struck a chord with me, because I'm like, okay, One Piece is getting back to, I mean, one of the reasons why I fell in love with it. So with the Big Mom thing, hopefully we get some more exposition on that. Based on how this chapter went, you can assume and predict that it goes there, and I think there's a fair chance that it actually does that. Quick tidbit, Moscato was apparently back in this chapter. Ugh, fanbase triggered. The Sunny is not destroyed. Now guys, I've been saying this, I didn't make a review last week just because, hey, shit, there wasn't a new chapter last week. I didn't make a review week before last just because, I don't know, time, but also I feel like reviews are, I don't know, sometimes they can be tedious, and I do them when I really want to do them, right? So this week, I really wanted to do one. But last week, I did not think the Straw Hat ship was destroyed whatsoever. I believe that it could be damaged, but destroyed, absolutely not. I felt like it was way too soon for the Sunny to go out, and I didn't think we were going to lose the Sunny at all. I think the Sunny's going to take us to Raftel, and that's the ship we're going to be with. It's going to get upgrades, shit like that, but we're not going to get a new ship. It just would be so redundant. One could argue that's the trend Oda is going as far as redundancy, and I get it, but I don't think he would go there with the ship. Apparently, Wadatsumi threw the ship in his mouth and managed to escape by switching the Sunny with the legendary ship of Fisher Tiger. Is that a resolution that I like or care about? Somewhat. It was fine. It was kind of expected just because I did not expect the ship to be destroyed. Switching the ship out of nowhere, why didn't you just choose a random ship of Big Mom's? Why that ship? Somewhat random, but I understand it. They were tying it in with the Fishman Pirates because of everything that they were about to do. We're standing up to the Big Mom Pirates. They want to go out for Jinbo, their previous captain. So, or current captain, depending on how you look at it. So the Wadatsumi thing, I'm okay with it because we know Wadatsumi, he was there for a reason. We cannot have Wadatsumi there and him not do anything, have him not do anything at all. I feel like people would complain about that if Wadatsumi was there and then he didn't do anything. Be like, oh, what the fuck? Why would you bring Wadatsumi just to get one shot? So Wadatsumi being there, he had a purpose and a role, and he completed it. He took a lot of shots from Oven, which is also impressive because Oven has been that character, right? Other than Katakuri, he's done a lot in this arc. He's gotten a lot of hits from several characters, but he's bounced back every time and has done his job. So shout out to Oven. I think one of the more valuable Big Mom Pirates, based on portrayal in this arc at least. Also like the fact that no matter what, the Fishman Pirates, they're willing to die for Jinbo, and that they were gonna fight, and Aladdin pretty much excused anyone who didn't want to fight. He was like, yo, if you don't want to fight, you can go now, okay? I won't hold it against you, it's fine. But I liked how Praline, she stuck with her man. And pretty much all the pirates, they were steadfast and they were about to fight for the Straw Hats. Like, seeing shit like that is dope because based on where you saw the Straw Hats come from, it's dope to see a fucking race like the Fishmen, especially knowing the history between Fishmen and human, they're willing to die for this human, right? And of course, there's been symbolism before with Jinbo and Luffy, them switching or trading blood. So I think that was symbolic and shows the progression of the Straw Hats, and not only of the Straw Hats, but of Fishmen as a people, and that they're willing to trust a human again. And that because, you know, Jinbo, he follows Luffy, he believes in Luffy 100%, so of course they're gonna follow their captain, and they've seen that, you know, Luffy's an honorable guy. So that really made me happy. Like, that was one of the obscure moments in the chapter where I was like, it's pretty fucking dope. What was weird in this chapter as well is that they had honestly an obvious like panel, like a full spread that's gonna be for the anime, that's solely for the anime to expound upon, because it was just like a montage. That's what it was, and the anime is not going to do a montage. So they prepared that specifically for the anime to show a bit of what's been going on. We saw Praline, Oven and Aladdin clashing. They can make that a fucking half an episode knowing Toei. So that's what they did. I get it, because the anime has been great in Whole Cake so far. If they're going to expound or expand some shit based on what we've seen, I'm all for it. I'm all for that shit. So it is what it is. The main thing people were talking about in this chapter was Jinbo and his decision to pretty much leave the crew. When I say leave the crew, I mean that he was leaving the Straw Hats to go take care of his previous crew, the Fishman Pirates. They were willing to sacrifice themselves for him, but he was not willing to let them do that. He wanted them to see him off. So he was telling Luffy, yo, I cannot leave them behind. Now, people were up in arms about this. One argument was that Luffy went out of his way to go save Sanji because he didn't feel like Sanji could handle something like that on his own. But for Jinbo, he did not even question it. He was like, I understand, just don't die. Philosophically, I don't even know what the fuck I said that. You ever see niggas just say shit just because it sounds good? Philosophically, like what? But I think that's the appropriate word here. I think how Jinbo and Sanji are handled, quite different, right? So Sanji, he was taken, right? As much as it was portrayed to seem like Sanji went of his own accord, he was taken. Capone pulled up, whispered some shit in his ear, and of course Sanji's gonna go along with it, but is that blackmail in the real world? Kidnapping? I think it's blackmail. I think it's like blacknapping. Whoa. I didn't realize how racist that sounded. But anyway, their situations are different. Jinbo, he wanted to go of his own accord to save his family, essentially, and with Sanji, he was forced into that, okay? So Luffy, he can tell the difference based on like emotions, shit like that. I mean, of course he wasn't around Sanji, but based on how Nami was, if it was the same situation where Sanji had to go to save someone, blah, 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 Luffy would have understood. But based on how that whole situation was, Luffy was like, I gotta go. And I can tell, I just know, like, you have a feel for these things. So with Jinbo and Sanji, different situations, and I understand it. Now, is this gonna be a gag with Jinbo as far as like him saying, I'm gonna join the crew, I'm definitely gonna join the crew. Oh, I gotta go wash my car. Is that going to be a thing for Jinbe going forward? And is Luffy going to just continuously say, "Ah, it's fine, Jinbe, just come back when you're ready"? Is anything going to happen to Jinbe here? Because it's setting up, right? It's setting up for them to go in, but there's no way they're beating the Big Mom Pirates, okay? Big Mom, she's on her way there. So remember I referenced before as far as like the end of the chapter showed that Big Mom and the effects of the cake probably didn't work? Yeah, Big Mom is making a beeline for the Straw Hats, and she, in particular, she's interested in Straw Hat Luffy. She wants to absorb the soul from him to make strong homies. For me, when I read that, I thought it was an acknowledgement that now, okay, this guy is powerful. I want his soul to create strong homies. I could just imagine how strong the homies that Luffy's soul would create, because we know Luffy's will. We saw it versus Katakuri. It's unbelievable. So Big Mom, she's acknowledged that Luffy, he's not the fucking trash and piece of shit that you expected and thought when he first got there, or even at Fishman Island. He's a legitimate threat. And that is echoed by my boy Big News Morgans when he's talking to Stissy. I like this a lot more than the typical, oh, Luffy, he's going to be the guy, blah, blah, blah. I like this a lot more because it's not just Luffy, it's the worst generation. That includes Blackbeard as well. He's part of the worst generation. I think this is Oda telling us that he's going to give us more of the supernovas in the worst generation. He realizes that they're fan favorites, and he realizes that the people want more of them. And for the story to be legitimate, and to legitimize the story, I think you have to make it that Luffy has legitimate competition other than Nyanko. It's not realistic to assume that Luffy is the only person that has all this strength, great crewmates, and just this, I mean, of course, the luck thing I understand, but you have to make it seem like Luffy had peers somewhat. You cannot hype the worst generation like that and have Luffy and Blackbeard be the only two to achieve greatness. Okay, I expect Kid to get there, I expect Law to get there, right? So, even X-Drake, we're not sure about him, and what I've seen from Capone and even other supernovas, or Rouge, all of these guys are viable candidates for Pirate King. I think him and Blackbeard are, you know, neck and neck right now, but I like the fact that they're shining the light on not only Luffy, but the other of the worst generation. That fucking, I absolutely love that shit. Luffy at this point, he's going to Wano. Wano is coming. I think we're probably 5 to 7 chapters away, but Wano is on its way. And Luffy's saying, yo, we're going to meet you in Wano, Jinbe. And I think this sets up for Jinbe to come in an epic moment and save Luffy somewhere, or save one of the Straw Hats, which is, you know, that's how Oda does things. Overall, I think this chapter was fine. There were some qualms with the chapter. The main thing was the cake, but I'm holding out for a bit because this could be a delayed effect with the cake. Because I'm not sure if he showed a pet cemetery and all those hallucinations and don't double back to it. Of course, the Big Mom and the memory stuff with Pudding, that has to be touched upon. You have to touch upon that. So some resolution with Big Mom as far as her and figuring out what happened back in the past. I know some people are like, yo, just dead it. It's not happening. But that's something I think is going to happen and is necessary for not only Big Mom's growth as a character, but just the overall progression of said story. I feel like Oda also in this chapter chose some very endearing panels for Luffy. Based on what Morgan says as far as like someone from the worst generation is going to become Pirate King, Oda, I think he made a concerted effort to show Luffy in the vein of Shanks and Rayleigh, more so Shanks. There was several panels that we saw with Luffy where it's reminiscent of a young Shanks. And of course, Luffy wearing the cloak, that was even more epic. I've seen numerous pictures on Google Images and all this shit showing Luffy with a fake cloak or a pirate cloak, you know, the Pirate King cloak, and seeing him in this cloak, it was kind of surreal because it was kind of telling me the story is moving forward. Luffy eventually, he's gonna probably wear one of these things and the story's gonna end. Like, see, this is now canon. This picture is canon. And I thought that was amazing, man. Overall, the chapter, I'd say 7.5. Everything, it was good. It was a good chapter. It just wasn't an unbelievable chapter. The Big News Morgans thing was fine. Other than that, everything was pretty, it was okay. Progression somewhat. Hopefully, next chapter, we can get some resolution as far as like, did the cake do anything? Because then that really, that infuriates not only me, but a lot of people. Because it's like, man, we went about this whole thing for this cake and it does nothing. That sucks. Let me know what you think. What do you think about this chapter? Do you think it was good, great, average, trash? How did you feel about the cover page? That's something that's interesting. How did you like the intro video? That intro little thing we got there. If this is your first time, make sure to like the video and subscribe. I would definitely appreciate that. Shout out to all my patrons. I appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. Of course, if you're a patron, you get not only exclusive videos, but you get an exclusive rank in the Discord. Of course, you can message me at any time. It's like direct access somewhat. So it's some perks to being a patron. Of course, that helps the channel as far as equipment and just a whole bunch of things, maintenance, editing software, because that's not free. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Like the video if you did. Like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. That'd be dope, guys. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.